everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I have Johanna's Christmas coloring book, and I also have my holiday inspired color combinations that I shared in a previous video. If you've not yet seen that video, I will link it in the upper right hand corner. In that video, I shared a few different color combinations down here for different ways that you can create gold in your coloring books. So many of you after that video asked me to share the technique that I would use in the coloring book to use these color combinations and create gold. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm also going to pull in a couple of these other color combinations on this sheet, and I'm going to use those as well. If you check the description box down below, I will have links down there for my Facebook group, my Etsy shop, my email list, and my Patreon if you would like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. You can find more information out about that by clicking the join button down below the video. So I did start on this ornament here, and I used some of the color combinations that I shared on this sheet. And so this is what it looks like after you get it laid down on the ornament. But I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. Now, when I did that video and I shared the different color combinations for gold, I shared one that would be a little bit lighter, and then I shared one that would be a little bit darker. And then here I showed you how you would add a little bit of depth and dimension by adding the chocolate to your color combination. So this color combination here is actually this color combination with the one added color to create a little bit more depth. This one is super simple and it will get you by, but if you want your object on your coloring page to have a little bit more depth, you can just bring in this one additional color. And then this color combination over here is going to give you a little bit of a darker gold, and then this one over here is a little bit more advanced. I actually use this color combination here, but I'm going to see if I could get by without using the yellow ochre so that y'all are just going with 4 colors and still able to create a beautiful Christmas ornament. So here's my pencils, and the colors that I have are chocolate, goldenrod, jasmine, and deco yellow. When I'm doing gold, I like my gold to have a little bit of a pop, and you will probably find lots of different color combinations online, but I'm not sure that any of them use the deco yellow. I like the addition of the deco yellow because, as you can see, it gives it that little bit of pop and makes just a bit of a brighter gold. So I thought maybe I could demonstrate on this ornament here. I was going to use the other ornament on the other page, but I don't think it had enough open space. This one has quite a bit of open space in the background, and so it'll allow me to create a gold ornament. And then I can come back and color in these little decorative pieces here and use some of the red or green color combinations, possibly red on these, and then maybe a little bit of green for these here. So I'm going to start with my deco yellow. I like to preserve the areas that I want to be highlighted so that I don't go back over those areas. So I always usually start with my lightest color. And you may see when I come back with some of the darker colors that I do go over these areas just a little bit, but it does help me to preserve most of the area, and I'll change it up as I go. So the next color I have is jasmine, and I'm going to start adding some of this color in. And like I said, you'll see me go into those areas where I just laid down that deco yellow, but it's going to create a really pretty blend of those colors. So I'm trying to stay in the outer parts of the ornament, and I'm just trying to fill in all of the white space so that I can come back with my darker colors and just create a really pretty blend that is going to create that really pretty shade of gold. So now I have my goldenrod, and this is going to be the most important color in your color combination because this is the color that I feel like really starts to make it look like it is actually gold. And so I'm going to put a layer of the goldenrod right over wherever I laid that yellow ochre, trying to stay out of the areas where I want that extra pop of highlight. But laying that first initial layer of the deco yellow just really helps me to get an idea in the beginning of where I want to see that highlight or just an extra pop of color. Now you'll see me going around the edges of all the decorative areas, and that's because in the end I want those decorative areas to look like they are a little bit elevated or lifted off the page. But you can see that it's already starting to look like it's gold in certain places, and that's all because of the goldenrod. The goldenrod, like I said, is probably the most important color in your color combination when you are trying to create gold on your coloring pages. And there are many different color combinations to create gold. For your darkest color, you don't have to use the chocolate. There are many other colors you can use. You can use the light umber, the dark umber. It all depends what the look is that you're going for. But the brown is what's going to give it a lot of depth, and I'm going to show you how to use the brown in just a minute after I get all of this color laid down. But you can see how I still left some of those areas for that pop of color where I laid the deco yellow, and in some places I did actually go over it just a little bit. So now I'm going to use the jasmine, and I'm just going to blend some of that color out. So I'm just going in a circular motion and I'm blending all of these colors in and bringing them together. So that was our 3 color combination, and that's just a very simple gold. Of course, I would need a few more layers. Let me go ahead and add a little bit of the deco yellow back in here. And so you can see how it makes it look much brighter in some of those areas. It sort of just darkens it up just a little bit by adding that second layer. And you could see how pretty and bright it looks. And it really gives the gold a different look. But I just really love having a brighter gold. Now I'm going to show you how to use the chocolate. When I did my color combination video, I told you that when you lay this color, you're just going to very lightly come in around the edges. Okay, so I moved my book over just a little bit, but you're going to hold your pencil like this to the side, and you're just going to come in very lightly with the side of the pencil. Lay the color on the edges of whatever it is you're coloring, of course in this case the ornament, and I may have to turn my book a little bit so that I could be a little bit more comfortable while I'm doing this. But I'm going to lay it right on the outer edge, and then I'm just going to pull it in just a little bit with a circular motion. And I'm going to do this everywhere that I see something laying up against something else on this ornament. For instance, here where I have this decorative piece of the ornament and it's laying right up against the area that I'm coloring, I'm going to come in here and just go over that right at the edge very lightly. And then here where I have this decorative piece or these little spiral pieces, I'm going to come in really close to the edge and go around those areas. And you can see already that it's making these areas look like they are a little bit more lifted and making them stand out just a little bit from the background area that I'm coloring gold. And I'm thinking that maybe I should have colored those first, but I think it'll be okay. So when you're doing this part, you just have to have a pretty steady hand because you don't want to go in the other areas. Of course, these here are going to be a different color. And I'm going to grab a couple more color combinations off of my color combo sheet so that we can color those and really make them stand out. I was thinking reds and greens, but now I'm wondering if I want to use the blue color combination I shared. So do you see how I'm just lightly, very, very lightly with my pencil to the side going over just the edges, and I'm going in a circular motion and I'm pulling it upward. Now I'm going to turn my book a little bit so that I could get into these areas here. And if you want to get a little bit extra creative and you want to make it look more like, I don't know, like a tarnished gold, I guess, you could actually bring the chocolate up into where you have the other colors. Now, if you're going to do that, just make sure that you're not going into where you have those highlighted areas. So now that I have the chocolate laid everywhere that I want it and all around all of the designs on the ornament, I'm going to use my goldenrod and I'm going to go over everywhere that I laid that chocolate because I don't want it to look brown. I actually want a combination of those 2 colors, and I just want to pull them all together and spread all those colors out and blend them all in. And again, I am just going in a circular motion. And as you're watching this all come together, you could probably see why the goldenrod is the most important color of your color combinations when you're creating gold. Down in here, I want to create a little bit more depth with my chocolate. And right in here where I have this decorative piece. And then down in here, right at the point of the ornament down at the bottom, I'm adding a little bit more of that chocolate. And then all down here, because I really want the ornament to look like it is popping off the page. And so I like to try to cover a lot of those black lines. And then in the little corners and such, you can probably go a little bit darker with your chocolate and add another layer of that. Because again, that's what's going to create all that extra added depth you want to see on whatever object it is that you're coloring. So can you see as I continue to lay the chocolate down and I go in just a little bit darker, that it does create a little bit of added extra depth, and it makes all these decorative areas look like they are elevated just a little bit more. And when somebody looks at your ornament, they're not going to see brown. They are going to see that these pieces look like they are elevated quite a bit. It's just going to give that illusion. And then of course after I do that, I have to come back again with my goldenrod. And I'm just going in a circular motion and I'm going to blend it all in again. And you can see that it does take a few layers for you to be able to get the look that you're going for and make it really look gold. But this is going to be a really beautiful darker gold, and then it's still going to have that pop of color because of the deco yellow. So I am really loving this. I'm going to grab my jasmine and I'm going to start blending some of these darker colors together and just going over it one more time with this lighter layer. Just really trying to pull all of these colors together. And I am using a little bit of harder pressure because I am towards the end now. And I am going to be coming back one more time with my deco yellow in the areas where I want to see that extra added pop of color. I think we have plenty of layers down there and I think it looks really pretty. So now I have my deco yellow and I'm going to go with a little bit harder pressure because I really want to add that highlight in there and make my gold really look a little bit shinier. And another way that you can do that is to use the white of the paper in certain places if you wanted to, and that would help to give it a little bit of a reflective look. Okay, y'all, so the gold is done and I really love it. That's so super pretty. So let me go ahead and try to decide what color I'm going to use for some of these decorative areas here. I'm wondering if I should use this color combination here. I think that would be super, super pretty. Actually, I think I have colored a blue Christmas ornament before on my channel. So for this one, I think we're going to go a little bit different. Maybe we will go ahead and go with the reds. It's just, there's so many red color combinations. Which one do I want to use? This one is a bit brighter. I don't know if I want to use something a little bit more muted. I think we probably should with this gold color combination. Looking at these, I think maybe this would look pretty, or even this one. I think I'm going to go with this one. So Crimson Lake, Scarlet Lake, and Blush Pink. Okay, y'all, so this is a really simple color combination. Here's my colors. As I said, we're using Crimson Lake, Scarlet Lake, and Blush Pink. And Blush Pink just gives your red color combinations a really pretty pop, but it is still a fairly muted color and not too bright. So again, I'm just going to come in here and lay the color in the areas where I want to keep a highlight. And now I'm going to come in with my mid-tone and I'm going to add a little bit of this in here. And y'all, if you watch my channel quite a bit, you probably notice that I don't use a lot of red color combinations. And I don't know why, I just usually or generally don't use reds. I think it's like one of those colors that just doesn't scream out at me. Like blues all the time. I absolutely love my blues. But colors like oranges and reds, you probably notice I don't use them too often. So I guess it's good that I'm using them in this video. And our ornament will look really Christmassy. More of your traditional Christmas ornament, rather than using the blues. So I'm just laying this color outside of the areas where I laid that other color, or the lightest color. And I'm sort of blending it right into the blush pink as well. Okay, so that's my first layer of the Scarlet Lake. Let's go ahead and lay down some of the Crimson Lake now and give this just a little bit more depth. So when I'm using my darker color, I like to use the lines in the artwork and just sort of go up against them to create a little bit of extra added depth. And that's going to make this decorative scallop piece look like each one of these areas are really elevated. And of course we are going to have to come back and blend those colors in after we get the color laid down. And then right along the edge here, because I want to try to cover a lot of that black line. Now I'm going to come back with my mid-tone, which was the Scarlet Lake, and I'm just going to pull those colors just a little bit towards the center of each one of these scalloped areas. And I'm trying to stay out of most of the areas where I want a little bit of that pop of highlight. Again, like I did when I was laying the gold. Now I'm going to come back with my blush pink and bring all of these colors together. And I think in this one here, I'm going to leave a little bit of white space. And then in this one as well. What that does is just give it a little bit more of an extra pop. So I'm going to come in here and use a little bit more pressure and lay this darkest color. And of course on the edges of all these little scalloped areas, I want to come in a little bit darker. And I still have quite a bit of the white of the paper left. I'm going to come back with my Scarlet Lake and again pull these colors together just a little bit more and pull them a little bit more into the center. And I'm using a little bit harder pressure at this point. And I'm still preserving those areas where I want that highlight color. Okay, so I'm going to lay it right here in the center. This is my blush pink. And then here, I wanted to leave a little bit of white, but I'm going to pull all those colors together, and this should be my last layer. But again, for this one, I'm using a little bit of the white of the paper and just keeping that area right there a little bit lighter as we come down. And if you were to do something like that, or you were to color the whole area and then decide you wanted to see a little bit more white for reflection, you can always come back with a white Posca or a white gel pen and you can add all of that right back in. But I just thought it would look really cool how the reflection would get a little bit more as we come down towards the bottom. So now I have to color these other two, and I'm going to speed this up as I lay these colors down. So those are all done, and I think they look really pretty. And so now I'm thinking I want to add a little bit of green to my ornament. I'm thinking that I want to do these little pieces here in green, and there's not a whole lot of space in those. Let me go ahead and grab my green color combinations, and since our colors are a little bit more muted, I think I want to go with something like this. The Marine Green, Kelly Green, and Pale Sage. Or we could go with the Prussian Green, Sap Green Light, and Pale Sage. I think I actually like this one a little bit better because it's got the lighter colors in it. So we're going to go with the Prussian Green, Sap Green Light, and Pale Sage. So I grabbed those three colors. I have the Prussian Green, the Sap Green Light, and the Pale Sage. But I'm thinking for this, since the spaces are so small, that I may just go ahead and use just these two colors, the lightest one and the darkest one. Let me go ahead and see what I can come up with here. So this is the Prussian Green, and I did get the colors from the gold in a few of these spaces. So I'm wondering if I should just straight color these in green, but I don't know. Let me see here what I can come up with. So I'm going to go over the outer edges with the Prussian Green, and I'm going to come in here and do the tip of this decorative piece, and then I'm going to come around here, and this one is super, super thin. And y'all, sometimes it's okay just to straight color, but I'm going a little slow because I don't know exactly what I want to do yet. I think I'm going to use the Pale Sage to pull the color inward, and we'll see how that works out. But the Prussian Green seems to be going right over the colors that actually got into these areas when I was doing the gold. So let me go ahead and just grab the Pale Sage now, and I'm going to go over those colors. Okay, so that was a good idea. I like how that looks because it stands out off of the red. And the Prussian Green is really dark. Oh, that looks much better. So that really lightened up the Prussian Green. So now I just have a blend of those two colors, and it helped to really lighten it up. That's super, super pretty. So sometimes you just have to try things on your coloring pages and see what you can come up with. I mean, just start laying the colors and try your ideas. And if your ideas don't work, you can always come back with an eraser and pull the color up. I could have also used a green gel pen. That would have been really pretty as well. Now this one here is super light, so I'm going to come back and add a little bit more of my Prussian green. This one has a little bit bigger of an area to color than the other ones did, and this one is all surrounded by the colors that I used in my gold color combination, so this one will still show up on top of the gold. I think that looks much better. Now I'm going to come in and do that on this one as well, since this one only has the gold behind it, and make it really stand out just a little bit more. And then here I'm going to do it just on the tip with the Prussian green, and then I want to keep it lighter, and then maybe just on the outer edge here. I'm not sure that green is really standing out too much from that red. So I think that helped just a little bit. And I think it looks really pretty how we have that lightness right there. It looks like it's popping just a little bit more. And you will need pretty sharp pencils to be able to do something like that. But I love it. So I think I'm going to do the top part in green. So this way it'll bring a little bit of balance throughout the whole entire ornament when it's done. So basically I'm bringing the greens that I added down in here and we're bringing them to the top. So I'm going to add the sap green light in here. Actually, that was the pale sage. This is the sap green light. I feel like it's going to be okay if I cover these little pieces here, because I think I might use glitter for those. Y'all know I can't do an ornament without glitter. I know I'm going to have to bring my glitter in here somewhere. Okay, so now I'm going to use my darkest green, which is the Prussian green, and I'm going to use this color to create the extra added depth. I'm turning my book just a little bit so I'm a little bit more comfortable and have a better angle here, but I'm just spreading this green, and then I'm going to blend it in a little bit with my sap green light. Now I have my pale sage, and I'm just going to pull all those colors together. Now I just want to add a little bit more depth here. And then I'm going to blend it in just a little bit more. And again, I'm going over those little spaces down there because I'm going to use something else to really make those stand out and make them look gold. I don't know what yet, but we'll see. Okay, so now I'm thinking that I am going to make this little part where you would put the hook on a Christmas ornament. I'm going to make that gold. And again, I'm going to use the chocolate just to try to cover up some of those black lines. I feel like that really helps to give it that little bit of added depth. Okay, and then I'm going to pull these colors together. I've got my Deco Yellow. So I feel like that color went into the little circle that I didn't want it to. So I'm just using my mono eraser to pull that color up. Okay, y'all, so we need some gold glitter to finish this off. These are my stickles. Y'all know how much I love stickles. This is goldenrod, and I think this one is almost gone, so I'm hoping that it works. Okay, y'all, I had to really fight with it to get it down on there because this gold is pretty much empty, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it into these little tiny spaces here. Okay, so I don't think I have any more hope for my goldenrod. So I have sunflower, which is not a gold, but it's going to have to work for me because I don't have an actual gold. So I'm going to use this one for these little spaces here. You shouldn't be able to even tell the difference, I don't think. I'm going to have to buy myself another gold. Yeah, you can't really tell the difference once it's laid down there. But gosh, the gold is super pretty. This one just looks a little bit more like a yellow gold. I think I want to add a little bit of glitter around here because I'm really not crazy with how that part of it came together because it was such a small area trying to apply the gold. Oh, that looks pretty. So that's how you fix your little mishaps when you're coloring. You just put glitter over it. Okay, so I think I want to try to add a little bit of glitter to the little decorative areas that I colored red. I have cranberry here, and we're going to see if this one works. Oh, this one looks like it's brand new. I've never used the red glitter before, but I just want to add just a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy because I don't want to cover my colored pencil work. Oh wow, that's pretty. I mean, y'all, we have to have glitter on our Christmas ornaments, right? So let me do the same up here. So our ornament is done. I love how it turned out. Y'all have to let me know what you think in the comments below. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love how all the colors came together. I hope that you enjoyed seeing me share some of my color combinations on this Christmas ornament. And hopefully you understand a little bit more now about how to lay the gold on an actual object on your coloring pages. Everything that you've seen me use in this video will be linked in the description box, especially those stickles, because y'all, if you don't have stickles, you need to have stickles. They are like the best thing ever, and they just add so much bling to your coloring pages. I absolutely love them. I'm literally obsessed. But if you've been watching my channel for quite a while, you probably know that already. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.